Alright, y'all. This is going to be a little bit different than my normal content, so bear with me. Because season 0 has come to an end, or is coming to an end as of right now. I think it's like ending in like a day and like 3 hours when I'm doing this. But season 0 will be coming to an end, and we're going to be starting season 1 of Marvel Rivals. So I know some people probably didn't get the seasonal little like comic book sections or whatever. So I wanted to read them for y'all just in case you guys didn't get them, right? And then so for volume 0, it's called Doom's Rise. As you can see, there's different pages. We'll go over each one. Doom's Rise. Let there be rivals. Click on them. You can read them. Passage from the Book of Doom, December 6, 2024. As I always suspected, no one cares about true freedom. No one, save for Doom. For millennia, humanity has caged atoms in quantum fluctuations, bound celestial bodies in gravity's waves, and locked human genes at the pinnacle of evolution. Then we claimed freedom. The freedom to explore, to save, and to become gods. Yet we are loath to admit that we remain shackled by the eternity of time. So Doom forged a cape for time itself. In my hands, reality became nothing more than a set of building blocks, history a thread to be woven at will. But time, that mischievous child, outfoxed me in its play. Reluctantly, Doom must admit defeat. Time remains caged, yet it has found a way to reshape its prison. If it takes an entire world, or countless worlds, to shackle something, then does it not, in essence, hold its own infinite freedom? Okay. Perhaps Richards was right. This world does not belong to Doom after all, but for as long as I am able, I will make sure that it belongs to no one. A passage from the Book of Doom, December 6, 2099. So from 2024 to 2099. Okay. Today I write words that have never been written before. Victor Von Doom is a fool. No, I do not speak for myself. This Doom remains a genius, as he has ever been. For how else could he have lived to see and to conquer this future world? I speak of another Doom, one from a distant past and a distant reality, who became so brazen in his quest for power that he felt he could break the bonds of time itself. Perhaps he was unaware that I, too, was on the verge of unlocking the mysteries of the multiverse, but alas, his pathetic efforts have undone my own, and now all realities are left to pay the price for his hubris. Our dueling experiments have ignited a chronal catastrophe, a wave of destructive energy cascading across the time stream, impacting every reality in unique ways. Some collapse, some combine, others simply disappear. I dub those remaining to be chronoverses, as is my right. A far wiser and more experienced Doom such as myself could have become Time's master. Instead, thanks to this lesser Doom's meddling, I am left to clean up the mess left behind like some cosmic custodian. The indignity, such tasks are beneath Doom, yet perhaps there is still hope that I can correct this grave miscalculation without staining my gauntlets. There are always so there are always so-called heroes in every dimension, and with the right motivation, they are easily manipulated into action. One Doom may have been a fool, but this one shall never be. Not when there are so many others eager to play the parts. Okay, so in the beginning right there, it's pretty much the reason why we have this game, Marvel Rivals, why it exists, why there's like you can people on different teams and whatnot, and all this nonsense. Time is just going crazy right now, right? Let's read this one. Your biggest fan. Hey there, hero. Weird question, but have you been hearing voice in your head lately? More specifically, a voice that sounds like it belongs to the coolest girl in the whole entire galaxy. If you've been wondering who in Eternity's name that is urging you on to victory as you face off against some of your most powerful friends and foes, look no further. It's just me, Galactica. I don't really want to do a girly voice for this, so I'm just going to read it the way I've been reading it. I may sound all cute and sweet, but I'll be honest with you. I'm not like most other teens. That's because I'm the daughter of the planet devouring cosmic force known as Galactus. Having a dad who eats worlds for breakfast can be a bit of a drag, especially because my pops passes insatiable hunger down to me. The old man gets pretty hangry if he doesn't chow down on the reg, but I've been able to keep my appetite in check by noshing on powerful cosmic constructs instead of inhabited worlds. Gotta admit, though, the older I get, the harder it is to curb my constant cravings. But there's good news. I finally found the perfect. Why isn't it letting me scroll? Oh, I finally found the perfect substitute for a planet-based diet, a powerful and pretty crystal called Chronovium. There is also bad news. These bite-sized chunks of pure chronal energy are generated by the time stream entanglement, a cosmic crisis that could destroy all realities. Bummer, right? What's a growing girl like me supposed to do when the only thing I want to eat is a byproduct of the total collapse of space-time? I mean, the universe may be an all-you-can-eat Chronovium buffet right now, but if the end of all things arrives, there will be nothing left to fill my tummy, not even planets. Dad says I should just consume everything and be done with it, but I'm trying to be a better devourer of worlds, so I decided to follow my head instead of my stomach. I preserved a small handful of timelines to help prevent the end of all things, at least for a while. That way I can still get those tasty nuggets of Chronovium without having to worry about reality itself coming to a hard stop. Using the power cosmic to stabilize multiple dimensions takes a lot out of a girl, though, so I really can't do much more than watch as events unfold. Fortunately, there's been plenty of entertainment to keep my mind off things. You and your pals have been super busy trying to restore your realities, and you come up with all sorts of wild ideas so far, but none of you can seem to agree on what the best solution is. That's led to some pretty explosive battles, and I've had a front row seat to every one of them. I may occasionally chime in to encourage or even assist you, but I'm perfectly happy on the sidelines for now, cheering on the chaos as I munch on chunks of Chronovium like popcorn. Dinner and a show? What more could a girl ask for? So that basically explains what you're hearing pretty much the entire game. You hear Galacta kind of like, better stop that vehicle, you know, and all that stuff, like the whole gameplay. So this is why she's there. That's what she's doing. This is feeding her essentially all these battles and the all this stuff or whatever, right? Okay, Hela and Loki. Okay, let's check this one out. Family affairs. Greetings, mortal. I am. Ooh, okay. I don't know how to. I'm gonna just keep. I'm not gonna do the voice thing because that's not like really my steez. Greetings, mortal. I am Ratatasker. Heed my tale. Ratatasker isn't he like the traveler or the messenger in for Asgard or something? Anyway, heed my tale. For countless centuries, I have lived peacefully among the branches of the world tree, Yggdrasil, delivering messages between the 10 realms connected by its mighty branches. I may be naught but a squirrel, but my Asgardian friends bestowed this sacred duty upon me, and I have performed it with great pride. My place was not to intervene in the affairs of gods and men, but simply to deliver news of great import. And today, the news I bring to you is quite dire indeed. For centuries, Asgard was ruled by the All-Father Odin, but no longer. Odin has entered a deep restorative slumber, and the throne has been seized by his treacherous son Loki. Where was Odin's rightful heir? Thor, the god of thunder, you ask? Patience, mortal. I shall get to that in due time. Always beholden to his ego, Loki began. Oh, went a little bit too far. Loki began to reshape Asgard in his vile image, but Asgard reshaped itself as well. Thanks to a strange cosmic phenomenon that disrupted the very fabric of space and time, this sudden surge of chronal energy caused my beloved Yggdrasil to grow wildly out of control, merging with Asgard and resulting in the birth of a place both ancient and new, Yggdrasil. For whatever one to seize an opportunity, Loki now seeks to tap into the roots of Yggdrasil in order to steal the raw temporal power that has been infused in its sap. What he hopes to do with such power, I do not know. As I said, I am merely a squirrel, but when it comes to the god of mischief, the answer is rarely a good one. And the false king of Yggdrasil is not alone in his machinations. When it seems as though none would dare to support Loki's coup, Hela, the queen of the dead, came forth from the underworld and offered her aid. All she wanted in return, she claimed, was to extend her kingdom of souls into the land of the living. Though if I have learned anything about Hela over the eons, it is likely that her true motives run far deeper, and that Loki is only a pawn in a much grander scheme. Once Hela was at his side, however, Loki finally had the power he needed to take complete control of Yggdrasil and the noble race who called it home. Together, the two tyrants banished the mighty Thor into a distant dimension, and the Odin son has not returned home since. Thus, I have come to you to share this tragic story. For while it may not be in my nature to take up arms against those I serve, you are bound to no such loyalty. I beseech thee, in the name of Yggdrasil, to break our realm free from Loki's grip before he can bring the world tree, and perhaps all of eternity, crashing down upon us. Act with haste, dear mortal. The fate of all 10 realms lies in your hands. Okay, so I have read a couple of things about the characters and heroes and stuff like that, but this really explains the map of Yggdrasil. I didn't really know why it was called that instead of like Asgard or something like that, so it makes sense because Yggdrasil has combined with Asgard, essentially making like a new area for them or whatever, you know. So they're not really the Asgardians anymore; they're the Yggdrasilians, huh? Okay, Spider People. Okay, Penny. I forget her name. Peter. That's also Peter. Well, it's like a. Is there a fucking Spider Punk in this game? Maybe I haven't paid attention, or maybe that'll be a skin later. I don't know. Anyway, but there is a bunch of skins for Spider-Man, so a bunch of different Spider-Man. Web Warriors. Hey kids, Spidey here. Okay, this is going to sound weird, and that's coming from a guy who swings around New York City on a web and fights villains and vampires all night long. Villains and vampires. Well, I guess he does have a vampire villain, but yeah. So I finally took Spider Zero up on her offer and hopped through her portal, mostly because she just wouldn't take no for an answer. And where did I end up? In Tokyo, which sounds kind of cool at first, right? But it wasn't the Tokyo of my world. Nope, that'd be too easy. Instead, it's Tokyo of the year 2099. As if web swinging 75 years into the future wasn't already strange enough, there seemed to be some sort of Spider Man cosplay convention going on. Seriously, check this out. There's a girl named Penny and her high tech spider bot, a Spidey with a spiked mohawk and a guitar who is like a billion times cooler than I could ever be. A low effort Spidey who kind of looks like he forgot his costume at home. Oh, and of course, the aforementioned Spider Zero, who organized this little shindig. That's the girl with like the long curly hair, Spider Zero. Okay, why'd she bring us here? Well, she says that the multiverse is in grave danger, isn't it always? And that the only way we can hold things together is by mending a massive rift in space and time, and that is shredding rift in space and time that is shredding the web of life and destiny. You know, the cosmic network of threads that connects all dimensions. So she took a field trip across a few realities and gathered herself a crew of experts when it comes to spinning strong webs. You can call us the Web Warriors. Or maybe the Spider Fighters, the Arachnites. I don't know. It's still a work in progress. Anyway, we're all on board with Zero's plan. I mean, usually I try to stick to my own turf, but if we can pull this off, we'll end up saving a lot of friendly neighborhoods, and that works for me. The whole thing sounds like an easy win. But, and this is a but bigger than the rhinos, there's someone working against us, kinda. See, Zero's former mentor, a spider like creeper called the Master Weaver, is supposed to be the guy that the universe chose to protect the web of life and destiny. Apparently, he's gone rogue and has decided that he's going to try to use the temporal energy from the rift to strengthen the web of life and destiny, even if it means putting Tokyo and all of its citizens in unfathomable levels of danger. And that's just not how we Spideys roll or swing. You know what I mean? The Master Weaver banished Zero from his fancy little spider islands for having a different and slightly more sane opinion. So now it's up to our scrappy little cluster of spiders to patch up a giant hole in the sky before the web of life and destiny unravels, and all of reality follows. Piece of cake, right? See, I told you it was going to sound weird. Okay, this one explains the Tokyo 2099 map. Okay, what is. Is that a spider? Oh no, it's Bast. Right? Hmm. And I'm guessing that's Black Panther. That is Black Panther, but that looks like a spider, doesn't it? Or am I tripping? I don't know. Anyways, blind devotion to Jalia, the plain where noble spirits dwell. Not long ago, this sacred place welcomed a guest whose mind and body were still as one. Though through ancient ritual, King T'Challa of Wakanda transcended his corporeal form and ventured to this mystical realm. After an incident involving the Winter Soldier, Princess Shuri had confided in him her long held belief that Bast, the Wakandan panther goddess, had somehow been corrupted. T'Challa had his own concerns, so he ventured to Jalia in search of answers. Shuri warned her brother of the potential dangers of communing with Bast, but T'Challa had to find out the truth for himself. Okay, I'm going to pronounce it Jalia, similar to like Django, because it's not Django, it's just Django. So forgive me for that earlier. When he arrived, T'Challa was shocked to find no other souls roaming the Great Veldt. The astral plane was as silent as death itself. T'Challa wandered for some time, eventually sitting near the edge of a shimmering lake. He opened a small pouch on his belt, removed a strip of fabric, tying it over his eyes. He had often blindfolded himself when meditating in the physical plane to help block out any distractions. Taking a deep breath, T'Challa cleared his mind and called out to Bast. He did not have to wait long for a response. My avatar, you are far from your empire, Bast whispered into T'Challa's mind. As are you, my goddess, T'Challa replied. Your people have been crying out for you, but get no response. I have heard their prayers, Bast said, and you will help me answer them. I am ever at your service, T'Challa said. Do not forget that, Bast said, a low rumble in her voice. There are those eager to taint you against me. They will try to persuade you to betray me. Heed them not. They are fools and heretics. I have always been loyal to you, T'Challa assured her. Then prove yourself, Bast responded, her words becoming ever more fierce. Swear that you serve only me and will strike down all who oppose my cause. Do so, and I shall grant you unlimited power. In his mind's eye, T'Challa saw a vision of the heart-shaped herb used to grant the Black Panther his enhanced abilities. Instead of its usual gentle purple glow, it burned a fiery crimson. T'Challa's deepest fears were now confirmed. Pledge yourself to me, boy, Boss growled into T'Challa's ear. T'Challa ripped off his blindfold, breaking his connection with the goddess. There in the rippling water in front of him, he swore he saw an image of his goddess warped and twisted, stained red and black with a repulsive aura beyond anything he had ever felt. T'Challa dove into the water and tried to grab a hold of the divine being, but it slipped through his grasp. Instead, he awoke on the floor of his bedchamber in front of a vibranium statue of Bast. Its eyes shone brightly for a split second, then faded to black. If you can hear me, goddess, T'Challa vowed, placing a gentle hand on the statue's head. I will not rest until your Holy Spirit is purged of this darkness. You have my word. So, I'm gonna guess that that's Null. That's my best guess. Not really super familiar with Null that much. I know he's a fairly new villain in Marvel Comics as well, but I think that's the same symbol he has on his armor. So maybe he's corrupting her. I know he's the god of symbiotes, so it makes sense that he has the power to corrupt or, mess with her in some way, shape, or form. So my favorite one, Winter Soldier. And I'm sure those are like the beings of like Hydra and stuff like that. Ooh, look at his arm. Again! All right. Hydra's him. Rank and number. Come on, Jim. It's just me, Pete. You know how tight security is here, Pete. Gotta follow protocols. Fine. Hydra Science Agent 418322. Happy? I'd be a hell of a lot happier if we weren't stuck inside of a mountain in the middle of the Antarctic. This cold is killing me. Why couldn't we get stationed on one of Hydra's tropical islands like Bob? Because Charteris Base houses the most important operations in our entire organization, and they wanted the very best of us mining the fort. The experiments we're doing here are going to change the world, Jim. I think we can handle the winter weather. The winter weather? Sure. The Winter Soldier, though? Yeah, I heard that jerk try to infiltrate our base a couple days back. Not gonna lie, I always thought he was just a myth. I mean, he fought against the Red Skull in World War II, right? How the hell could he still be alive and fighting? More importantly, how could he still look younger than me? I got a feeling we're about to find out. Rumor has it they moved him down to the Super Soldier Lab last night after they finished its reconditioning. Looks like we're going to get to work our magic. Oh, excuse me. Looks like we're going to get to work our magic. Oh, there's going to be magic, all right, but not from us. Before we could get him into a stasis tube, another division claimed him. Another? Which one? Wait, please don't say. Occult ops. The weirdos in the robes? What on earth do they want with a superpowered assassin? You and I both know that what they want doesn't usually involve Earth or any other planet in this solar system. They're trying to open that damn portal in the sublevels again, aren't they? Where did they say it went? Mayfield Mavith, a dead planet on the other side of the universe. They say activating that gateway is the key to unlocking our history and ushering in a new era where Hydra reigns supreme. Don't tell me you bought into their mumbo jumbo. You're supposed to be a man of science, Jim. I am, Pete, but I've heard those Hydra priests chanting, and there's something about their song that makes wonder if they're not so crazy. If they can use a Winter Soldier as some kind of conduit to access that other world, they can have him. Ha! You're as brainwashed as Bucky is. Well, whatever they're doing to him down there, I hope it works. Hydra could use a win. Don't worry, we'll get one. And when we do, it's going to be thanks to our work in the science division. Not because occult ops sang some ancient alien hymn to a soldier who should have retired ages ago. Guess we're going to have to agree to disagree on that one. Okay, fine. You know what? It's time for me to break away. For my break anyway. I hear that the commissary just got a new shipment of hot cocoa. You in? Now that we can agree on. Alright. Explains the Hydra base and all that stuff. It also explains why he's got the tentacle arm thingy. There's definitely some kind of otherworld machinations going on right there, so interesting to see what happens in the remainder of like the game's lifespan, if you will. Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy. This is the final page. Okay, you can see Groot, Star-Lord giving it their all. It looks like a bunch of symbiotes. Okay. Shuri's private log, entry BP20505. Recording. I have lost my faith in the gods. Those are words that I never thought I would say out loud. Words best kept private for now. Despite the Orisha abandoning our intergalactic empire, our people still cling to the desperate hope that our sacred pantheon will return and bless Wakanda once more. Our people are fools. And though I hate to say it, their king, my dearest brother, T'Challa, may be the biggest fool of all. He sits all day long in the Hall of Jaliyah, calling out in prayer to Bast, yet he gets no response. For the first time I can recall, his beloved Panther goddess refused to speak, to him at least. What T'Challa does not yet know is that I have heard the whispers of Bast in my dreams, but her words did not bring me hope or peace, as they have in the past. Instead, they inspired fear. They dripped with a darkness unlike anything I have ever felt before. I awoke with a deep concern that our goddess has been tainted by something sinister, and that perhaps she might use T'Challa's blind devotion to her as a means to unleash that darkness upon Wakanda, undoing all that we have built here. Uttering such words would be considered blasphemy, even for a princess of Wakanda. I have to tread carefully as I attempt to uncover the true meaning behind my visions and learn if my suspicions hold any merit. Yet this is not a path I am able to explore on my own. Not only would it arouse T'Challa's suspicion, it would also divert my attention from other matters that endanger our empire. For now, I must continue my efforts to unravel the mysteries of the time stream entanglement and its crystalline byproduct chronovium. More specifically, our chronovibranium. Thus, I called on some of Wakanda's most steadfast allies, the Guardians of the Galaxy, to investigate the source of a dark energy that flared up at the edge of the known universe shortly after Boss spoke to me in my sleep. The journey brought them to Clintar, the homeworld of a symbiotic alien race. Star-Lord contacted me upon his crew's arrival, but as their ship began to descend toward the planet's surface, something went wrong and our connection was lost. If the Guardians have found themselves up against the same dark force that corrupted Bast, they will need all the help they can get, and with the Orisha not answering any prayers, the time draws near where I will have to take matters into my own hands, in my own hands, and the hands of those I know I can trust. After all, even though I have lost faith in the gods, there are some things I will always believe in, including my friends. Recording ended. This explains that other map, the Clintar map. Doesn't really explain. Well, I guess it does, but there should be more to lead up to Null. But I'm assuming that at some point in time, Null is going to be a big bad. I'm also assuming that we're going to get more pages as season one comes unlocked too, with Dracula being the big bad. More things about Doctor Doom potentially. Probably more things about Dracula. But I want to see how these conclude, how the season zero stuff at least concludes later on, as far as because of the whole Clintar and all that stuff. What is Noel's play in this, and how do they deal with that whole situation with Bast? I would like to see how these things wrap up later on, as far as like if they will or if they don't. I mean, who knows? We'll see. They could just be brand new stuff that doesn't have anything to do with this whole Noel situation, and it could be a whole brand new storylines that don't even matter in terms of what's going on right now. But there was also a seasonal like chapter or whatever. So we got the winter celebration. I'm pretty sure it's like whatever picture you put went into like the gallery of it all. So this is a picture I took, as you guys can see. Yatta! Let's see what it says. Season's beatings. Rocket hopped onto Groot's shoulders, ready to unleash a barrage of plasma blasts at their next opponent. The unlikely duo had been partners for ages now, combining their impressive combat skills to effortlessly wipe out their enemies and collect their bounties. Things had changed after the time stream entanglement hit. Now they weren't just going up against the worst villains in the universe had to offer. They were also facing off against their fellow heroes, or at least alternate versions of them from different dimensions. There was no worse feeling than trusted allies becoming rivals, but when the fate of the universe hangs in the balance, you don't get to pick the fight picks you. Only one more target left, Star-Lord said over the comlink. Once we finish this up, we get to celebrate a lot more than a victory. Rocket had almost forgotten that today was one of Quill's Earth holidays, a fancy winter party where people filled each other's socks with chunks of condensed carbon or something like that. Yeah, Rocket responded with a smile, glancing over at his favorite Flora Colossus. I can't wait to decorate the tree again. I am Groot, Groot mumbled, noting how he was still finding shreds of tinsel on his limbs left over from last year's festivities. Okay, Rocket laughed. Maybe we'll skip that part and go straight to the presents. You're gonna love what I got you, pal. It'll really come in handy in a crunch. Rocket instinctively leapt for cover as Groot's body unexpectedly shattered into splinters. The pair had become so distracted by the thought of the revelry to come that they had momentarily lost track of their final opponent, but their final opponent hadn't forgotten about them. Rocket turned to see a strange creature standing in front of him, a shark-like beast with 4 tiny legs. It held one of Groot's arms in his mouth and smiled a wide, toothy grin. That was my Flarkin partner, you dumb dolphin, Rocket yelled, unleashing a flurry of plasma blasts at the creature. The land shark easily dodged the blast and rushed toward Rocket. As it got closer, it opened its mighty jaws wide. Rocket shielded himself, wondering if he was about to become this beast's holiday meal, but he soon realized that the shark had simply dropped Groot's arm in front of him and was waiting eagerly, wagging his fin tail. As Rocket picked up the wooden limb, Groot's finger twitched. pointing off into the distance. Rocket shrugged and threw the arm as far as he could in that direction. The shark immediately gave chase. Before long, the happy little land shark had helped Rocket gather all of Groot's splintered limbs, just like Rocket and Groot. The little guy didn't seem eager to fight his fellow heroes. He just wanted to play. "Hey, Quill," Rocket said over the comlink. "I think we might have one more guest for the holiday. Hope you made enough to eat." And that was the seasonal chapter, the winter celebration. So that's cool. Rocket and Groot met up with Jeff the Land Shark. That's awesome. It's adorable. All right, now for real this time. I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys learned something. If you weren't able to complete all these things for like the Christmas seasonal holiday thing or the season 0 stuff, or if you weren't even able to play it and maybe you're brand new to the game or something, but as always, be safe, and if you can't be safe, be deadly. See you guys next time.